Let's talk about fear today. Fear and rejection. Really jab that needle into the anxiety of everyone.
Oh, sounds really exciting, Meg. This sounds like a great episode. Welcome to the Chronicles of Caffeine and Ambition, hosted by the Cinder Sisters. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Megan. And what we are here to do on our podcast is tell you about business, life, families. Essentially, everything that we do, we want to share with you because we have a lot of self-confidence. We've learned a lot of self-confidence over the years.
We sure have.
And we want to share that with you. We want to show you how.
Let's do this.
Now, I know you've always liked the spotlight, or at least more so than I normally do, or I did.
Yes, okay, definitely more than you. I'm totally okay with being in the spotlight sometimes. Other times, no, I like to hide under a rock and just...
You're like what's the new term for it? Because there used to be like, you're just an introvert or you're just an extrovert. Now there's a combination of the two, like a chameleon that goes back and forth between whichever one that you need at that moment.
Yeah, that is me.
That is you. But the funny thing is that, so I would say when we were little, I started as an introvert, 100% to a T, like could not leave the house.
I didn't leave the house. Oh my gosh, no.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I went beet red every time somebody spoke to me.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't speak in public. Like public speaking at school was literally the death of me.
Yeah.
And you had like groups of friends. You were always going out. You were always doing something.
Oh, it was a total social butterfly. Could I stand up and like give a speech to people? No, like I never did public speaking when I was young. I think on our report, both our report cards would come back and be like, Megan needs to speak more in class, and like Stacy needs to raise her hand more and participate more in class. Because I mean, if you raised your hand and everybody stares at you while you answer it, and you're completely mortified because you're like, that just sounded so stupid. Whereas now the being seen doesn't bother me as much.
Okay, fair. So we both shifted into that new term that I'm still not coming up with. Extra introvert. I don't remember what it is.
I have no idea.
Look, I'm sick today, and I'm not breathing properly, and I have to move away from the potato mic when I'm not speaking because I sound like an ogre.
So Meg's at the mic.
It's not that bad. I'm not Darth Vader. But that's my point. So we both morphed into this like personality of sorts that is a part of our real life as well, but we morphed into this thing where we can speak out loud and we can go to events and we can talk to whoever about whatever. We're doing a podcast. Like, can you imagine when I was little if somebody had said that would be where I'd be in 30 years?
I would laugh. I would laugh if they said either of us would be doing this. I was like, no, absolutely not, no.
So you're so capable of change that this is where it comes to.
It's pushing past the moments of you're scared. I'm still scared to go up on a stage. Like my heart still races. I still get a little sweaty when we go and talk to people, whether it's a crowd of 5 people or a crowd of 100 people. It still makes you a little nervous, but don't not do it, because then when you do it, your brain goes, oh my gosh, I did it and it wasn't that bad. And then the second time doing it isn't that bad. You know, it gets easier and easier every time. So, but I think that's with anything that you do.
Do you remember that TED Talk? And I sent it was a really long time ago, a couple years, and I sent it to you and I was like, I absolutely want to do this. It would have been horrifying for both of us, even though this is only like 2 years ago, at a time where we were already talking to people. Our job is to be in front of people constantly. Mm-hmm. But this guy, he made this plan that he wanted to get rejected. It was like, how getting rejected changed my life or something. And he had like this list of 20 things that he wanted to do so that he could show his mind, himself, that being rejected wasn't the end of the world, so that he would be more capable of doing the things. By far still one of my most favorite theories, that if you force yourself to do the thing, and good for him for forcing himself to do the thing that made him upset, but it was like, ask a stranger on the street for $2. Like, it's nothing crazy.
No, it was nothing that he did. It traumatized me. I don't think I could do any of those things. And like you said, that's not a crazy thing. What's the person going to say? No. Or they're going to pull $2 out of their pocket for you, which, I mean, extremely generous. So really, I think that's
the point to come to. And that is, I've told several people this recently, because I'm really big on getting over the fears. And I think it's because I have so much. Mm. And so when I've been talking to people recently and I'm like, but what's the worst that can happen? They'll say no. So
what?
It's not the end of the world.
No.
But we're so afraid of hearing that no. In other news, I would like to do that still.
No, know. I knew you were going to say that.
One of our podcasts, what is it when they like section them? There's episodes, but there's series.
Oh, one of our
series of
us being rejected.
Yep.
All right.
It's going to be fun.
Oh, it's going to be just dandy.
It's like an adrenaline high.
For you, maybe.
It is.
I think she just prefers to watch me squirm.
It's an adrenaline high for me to watch you be so uncomfortable. This is payback for high school. Oh, you're Stacy's sister.
Oh,
yeah, my name's Megan.
Gosh. That episode that we need to have at one point will be great. About Meg always, because I was the social butterfly, poor Meg always got that of they knew who she was.
Yeah, people knew who I was.
Everybody knew who you were, but you were Stacy's sister.
Yeah, I didn't have a name.
No.
I didn't have a personality. I didn't have like a thing that was my own. I was just Stacy's sister.
Yeah.
Which is fair, honestly, in hindsight. Like, and it's not like I was annoyed, obviously, but I wasn't super bothered by it. But because I barely spoke,
yeah,
I didn't show a personality to anybody. It's not really unfair that they didn't think I had one.
Fair. I had enough personality for both.
That's what I was going to say. Yours was there. So what are we face some pretty huge challenges too. Like, I mean, regardless of starting businesses and those kinds of things, I mean, like personal challenges. So it terrifies you to think that one day we would go out on the road and ask money from a stranger that could say no. But we went to Barcelona together and they said, don't use the...
No, they said don't use public transit, Meg. And Meg, and we took a taxi to this place. They said don't use public transit. And then we took one more taxi, paid the exorbitant amount that it cost us in the taxi, and Meg turns to me and says, we are not taking a taxi anywhere. We're using public transit. So in my head, I fell apart. I was like, oh my God, but they said don't take it, and we shouldn't it's going to be bad. We're all going to die.
We're in a strange country. But that was only your second trip, right? Like, you'd been to England.
I had been to England, and yes.
Yeah, second trip abroad.
Yeah.
But they weren't locals, I suppose. Is that the other thing? Like, the people that told us this were not locals either.
Yeah,
they
right.
were Canadians or Americans because it was part of the job. That's why we were in Barcelona. But so, should we have listened to these people? Maybe. I think we tried.
But I also think we weren't going into a terrible portion of the city. We were majority downtown. I don't know. We just did we pass some sketchy areas in the taxi? Yes.
They were mostly outside the city too, though.
Yeah.
You're right, we didn't really go much further than the hotel to the marketplace that we were, where work was.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we walked around all that, and that wasn't scary at all. I mean, it was big. We did a lot of walking, and I didn't ever feel scared, except for one part when we ended up some sort of alleyway, which wasn't like it was actually a street.
Why were we on this alleyway?
Oh, for our mother.
Yeah, because Mom told us to go down that alleyway.
Some sketchy, I'm pretty sure she's trying to get us killed. So, she on an office
You know what, you want to travel? Go make me some yarn down this alleyway. It looks really sketchy.
And that's what she wanted, yarn. We had to go get her yarn from this specific shop in Barcelona. And we had to go get her wool. Now, mind you, though, when we got into the shop, it was pretty gorgeous. It was spectacular. But it was very extremely narrow streets. And we had a baby with us because we only travel with babies. We only travel when it's like we have a bunch of kids with us and things are extremely stressful at the time we travel. But that was fun.
That was really fun.
Do we put ourselves in positions of very scary things? Yeah, all the time. So I don't know why I get upset about the thought of somebody rejecting, because it's not as if these times we're not getting rejected at these times, but we're pushing through fears of things like we took the subway every day. At least twice, if not 3 times a day, we would take the subway in Barcelona.
Multiple subways.
Multiple. Because she would make me get off. I wouldn't even know, Stace, get off the subway. And I'm like, this is our stop. Okay.
If we take the blue line to this exit, and then we jump onto the red line on this exit, and then we could probably take the tram over to there. We could walk about a kilometer. It's okay. We'll get to where we need to go.
We push past fears, just in different ways.
But if we push past fears, and rejection is a fear, then why can't we push past the fear of rejection?
Fine, because we can.
Who would have thought that I would be the one pushing you to push past your fears? But it is totally just what you're exposed to.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I had traveled a bit. I had traveled before that, and I had lived in Ireland for a little bit. And I think absolutely there are places that you shouldn't go. There are bad things that happen. We're extremely lucky to have not had anything bad happen.
Agree.
But if you don't try the thing, then you're not ever going to get past that fear either. So, I mean, there has to be some amount of safety in it. But whether you're traveling or whether you're staying at home, like, we could go downtown Ottawa. There's places in downtown Ottawa we shouldn't
be going. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
My part of what I think about it is that because people are so afraid, we only focus on those aspects.
True.
If somebody else in middle and nowhere Ontario is like, their thought process could be, well, I can't go to downtown Ottawa. There's too many muggings and stabbings and, like, it's dangerous there. Because it's true in relation.
Yes. And it's one section majority of the time. It's not in the entire downtown core. Do you forever live your life in fear of what could, what might, and what you heard? Because what you heard, is it true? Is it the exact truth? Is it,
Or was it based in fear to begin with?
Maybe.
I don't know. And now I'm probably not ever going to go to Winnipeg because it's the crime capital of Canada. I don't even know if that's accurate anymore. I know it used to be.
It did used to be, yes. But you're right. Who knows what the facts are?
Who knows? I still don't know that I would go to Winnipeg, honestly.
It's never a bucket place I wanted to go see.
No, exactly.
No.
Yeah. It's not really making the list.
No. Sorry, Winnipeg.
Sorry from anyone who's from Winnipeg. Please let us know what the best things are that we should go to Winnipeg to see.
Yes. Oh, that's a good idea.
So when we were young then, what did you think that you were going to be doing with the rest of your life?
Oh, man, I was going to be a designer. Yeah, I was going to, like, fashion school, and I was going to be... But I don't remember when that started. Like, I think it was decently young, because I wanted to be a model at first. And then that got squished real quick from our parents.
I mean, I would have to maybe agree with them. That, Like, we grew up in the time of Kate Moss. And...
We did. Oh, man, it was bad. Yeah. Yes. And that's essentially, yes, what models look like then, yeah. Well, I appreciated it and take that path for sure. And then wanted to be a designer. And I was young, I guess.
Well, like, you did that whole show, the fashion show that you did was high school.
That was yeah, but that was, like, later high school. I want to say that was my last year of high school, I think, is when we did that, for one of our classes. And I guess that was sort of the dream for the longest time. I do have a book that would have been, oh my gosh, grade probably 4 or 5, something like that maybe. And my plan in the book was that I had said that I was going to live out west on a ranch with horses and a log house. That was my plan. So however old I was then.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, I have it somewhere. It's one of my storage shelf things.
Voltaire asked that the other day, do you, like, because he's talking about having a diary.
Yeah.
And he's like, did you have a diary? I was like, well, I had a bunch over the years. I don't know where they are.
Who knows, right? Yeah. I'm sure we threw them out.
Also, you absolutely are not allowed to see them.
No. No. You can read those when I'm dead.
It's my biography. Existential crises.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I filtered through. I definitely wanted to be a vet at one point.
Oh, I remember that, yes.
There was one time I totally remember helping serve supper, and I said that I wanted to be a waitress because I could hold a bunch of plates and stuff.
That's awesome.
I'm not positive that went over well, but I think maybe they just ignored me. But, I mean, traveling was definitely one of the things that was always in there.
Yes. Yes.
Do you remember the chalkboard that we had in the bedroom?
Of course.
I can vividly picture the list of places that I was writing on the chalkboard of the places that I wanted to go. And I remember that Jamaica was on there too. And I did not love when I was in Jamaica. I will totally blame the location that we went to because it was so touristy and people were like, it was literally just give me your money. So I will blame it on that. I would give it another chance. But I can vividly remember writing Jamaica on that list.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And that you made it to one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember the other places. So hopefully some of the other places that I've been to were on that list as well.
Mm-hmm.
But traveling was...
Definitely traveling.
Mm-hmm.
I remember yelling at Mom at one point about how much I disliked living there and that I couldn't wait to leave and I was going to join the Navy. Of all places.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why the Navy. I don't like the
bold
water
choice for you.
I know, and I just don't think I would do well with people telling me what to do. Just don't think that would go over super well. Yeah, I don't know why. And the Navy of all things, and I don't like the ocean. It scares the crap out of me. Yeah, but I was getting on the boat. I was going to join the Navy, and I was leaving. I'm out of here. Gonna go see the world.
I ran away once.
How far did you make it?
The front porch. At a little satchel packed. I packed. It was dark. It was dark out. We lived in the middle of nowhere. I wasn't going anywhere.
Let me put this in context for you, that we lived on 50 acres in the middle of nowhere at that time. And, we had to walk. Oh my God, how long?
I think it was a kilometer just to get to the road.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
I wasn't going anywhere. I was so angry. I packed a bag and sat on the porch and then got really angry about the fact that I couldn't go anywhere. I was young.
So awesome.
Yeah. I don't think anybody would have guessed that where we are now is where we would have ended up. Somewhat related to the things that we wanted to do with our lives.
Fair, but so different. And I guess that's always, as a parent, now that I have 5 kids, and looking at them, worried about what are they going to do? They can't even make themselves food. How on earth are they going to live? I'm so worried about they need all these things. And probably, I'm sure our parents worried too, of like, they can't function on their own, or they think they're going to go live life and we're out of here and do this thing, and you're like, oh my gosh, you can't leave.
I would have to ask Mom that, because she was so angry that I wanted to travel, and that's part of the reason I put it off for longer than I would have originally. Like, I would have gone earlier if it had been completely up to me, and in the end it was completely up to me. I was an adult, I made my decisions, but I held back longer than I would have because she didn't want me to go so badly.
I mean, it wasn't until long ago I realized that we lived in a house that was fear-driven.
Mm-hmm.
And it was easier to live within the 4 walls that we had, and was safer. We knew it was happening. Everything was like predictable, and that's the way they like to live, which is great. But there was never spreading of anybody's wings to go and do and fly and try new things. And
the outside is scary.
The outside's scary, for sure.
The unknown is scary.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's taken a long time to get over that, as myself, get over the fear and I'm sure that's why we were so quiet as kids.
Probably.
Right? Everything was just fear-driven.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. And yet we faced a ton of things to now that others wouldn't. I don't remember the catalyst. I don't remember why it started happening. That's not fair.
I
started when I started traveling.
Okay.
Oh, you know why? Sorry. I kissed the Blarney Stone.
You can't.
That's
right there.
That's when it started.
Ta-da!
That's it.
I'll just got to make it there.
Everybody's just got to go to Ireland and kiss the Blarney Stone. It's got it figured out for you.
For me, I don't do very well being told what to do, or told that I can't do something. And so I guess for me, that was more of a catalyst than anything else to keep going, or to do the things that were scary, because we can do anything, which is really funny because we had to do everything. Raised on this farm, we had to make our own food. We had a garden, we had chickens, we had a wood stove. We had to come home from school and, put the fire on and make sure that the animals were fed. We had 13 cats at one point. We always had dogs. It was crazy. But we were responsible, taking care of ourselves. We had to cook food. Mom always had dinner on, but we wanted something. We had to do it. We had to make it. So that also helped in a lot of ways. And I never did really well when somebody was like, well, you can't, because we were always taught you had to. And I don't know if that was our parents or her parents, as well as our grandfather, who was extremely hard on us. And it didn't matter. We have another sister, and it was all girls in our house. And it didn't matter that we were girls.
No, I never once remember that coming up.
Never, ever. That was never, ever a thing that ever came out of anybody's mouth in our house of like, but I'm just a princess and I don't have to do that. Man, oh man, if that came out of one of our mouths, holy smokes, we better start running.
Smack upside the head.
Yeah, totally.
Go pick up the eggs from the chickens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you had to. End of story. There was so much fear for certain things, but so much drive for other things.
Yeah, because even them moving out of the city was drive.
Yeah.
They started, neither of them had lived in the country. Neither of them had built a house. Neither of them had had animals before, like farm animals like that before.
Good point. So crazy, eh? That you're right. They got told they were crazy too for doing that.
They did. Yeah.
And don't get us wrong. It was a good life. Looking back now, I'm glad we grew up the way that we did. We essentially homesteaded, and it was awesome.
It was, and it's made us who we are today. And we are incredibly driven. We are incredibly capable.
Yeah.
And we'll try whatever.
Absolutely.
Which is probably where it came from.
Yeah.
Regardless of the fear, our upbringing showed us that we were capable of it. We were capable of pushing past the fear.
Yeah, which is pretty amazing.
Which means that we are going to be doing a podcast about getting rejected.
I was hoping she got off that already.
She's trying to distract me talking about travels.
All right, deal. I'm in. Next series. So keep watching.
Follow along with us, because that's what we want. To push past.
Yeah.
To show that it's possible.
That's the biggest thing. To show that, we did it, so you can do it.
And we'll be there to support if we need to. If you want us to.
Yeah.
Follow along. Like, subscribe. I don't know the words yet.
We'll see you next time. Or you'll hear us next time.